Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Sunday, June 18th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with the debut of AEW Collision, which aired live in the United States on the TNT network and emanated from the United Center in Chicago. CM Punk received a raucous reaction from the hometown crowd in Chicago and opened the first episode with an in-ring promo which weaved the realities of his relationship with his co-workers and fans into his reasons for coming back.
This sign right here says CM Punk is my hero. You can call me that. This sign here says Pepsi Phil. You can call me that. This sign here says CM Junk. You can call me that. Boo me. Cheer me. Love me, hate me, you all do it because you know I'm right. You can call me whatever you want. You know what David Zaslav calls me? One Bill Phil. That's because I am the one true, genuine article in a business full of counterfeit bucks.
In the main event, Punk made his in-ring return after missing 9 months due to a torn left triceps, teaming with AEW World Tag Team Champions Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler to defeat Ring of Honor World Television Champion Samoa Joe and Bullet Club Gold's Juice Robinson and Jay White when Punk pinned Robinson after delivering the GTS.
Punk almost on instinct, swinging that leg, connecting with Juice just enough. Oh, got it!
Until last night, CM Punk and Samoa Joe hadn't been in the same ring with each other since August 12, 2005, when Punk lost the ROH World Championship in a four-way elimination bout, which also included Christopher Daniels and eventual winner James Gibson, better known as Jamie Noble. The first match in Collision's history saw a title change as Luchasaurus defeated Wardlow to win the TNT Championship, ending Wardlow's third reign during his third title defense.
Now Luchasaurus claiming he just took the camera away from the ringside photographer, blasted Wardlow in the head.
The official didn't see it.
Didn't see it at all, but it's coming to focus. We have a new TNT champion.
Andrade El Idolo made his return to AEW, defeating the House of Black's Buddy Matthews. Andrade last wrestled for AEW during last September's All Out as a participant in the Casino Ladder match. Also back in action for the first time since All Out was Miro, who quickly dispatched of Tony Nese by submission. NJPW Strong Women's Champion Willow Nightingale teamed up with Sky Blue to defeat the Outcast tandem of AEW World Women's Champion Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. Blue scored the fall in her hometown when she pinned Soho after a sunset bomb. Also during last night's Collision, Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks announced their entry into the Owen Hart Cup. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn cut an in-ring promo. A Scorpio Sky video package aired, as did a pre-taped Jeff Jarrett promo announcing that he'll face Mark Briscoe in a Tupelo concession stand brawl on this Wednesday's Dynamite. In periphery news from the show, Fightful reported that retired former ROH wrestler Chris Hero was backstage and has been brought on for a trial run, although no duties were defined. And hours before Collision was set to begin, AEW color analyst Jim Ross took to Twitter and posted a picture of himself with a badly bruised right eye, which was swollen shut as the result of a fall on Saturday morning. Ross's voice was quite hoarse during the broadcast, and he tweeted after the show that he would be taking some time off, writing, quote, "I apologize for the way I sounded tonight, going to step away to heal, thanks for your support," end quote. Now with some WWE news, here's the Wrestling News' Lou Kipilman.
WWE announced on its social media yesterday that WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns will team with Solo Sikoa to face off against Jimmy and Jey Uso, coming up at Money in the Bank on July 1st at the O2 Arena in London. Following up on last Friday night's show-closing angle on SmackDown, which saw the Usos leave Reigns and Sikoa laying, the company has branded the bout as a Bloodline Civil War match. No special stipulations for the match had been announced. For the wrestling news, I'm Lou Kipilman.
Game Changer Wrestling returned to the Ukrainian Cultural Center in Los Angeles Saturday night for its Thank Me Later show. Blake Christian was to defend his GCW World Heavyweight title on Saturday for the first time against Kevin Blackwood, but Tony Khan pulled Christian from the show and he was in Chicago wrestling on the Ring of Honor television tapings instead. As a result of Christian being pulled, Blackwood was inserted into the Titus Alexander Jack Cartwheel bout, making it a three-way match, which Cartwheel eventually won. The main event featured a matchup of wildly differing styles as Zack Sabre Jr. defeated longtime deathmatch competitor Nick Gage. In her first match since losing the GCW title, Rina Yamashita beat Tokyo Joshi Pro's Maki Ito. In other results, Effie topped Kenny King, Santana Jackson beat Jimmy Lloyd, Joey Janela and Sawyer Wreck topped Ciclope and Miedo Extremo, Kevin Knight defeated Alec Price, and Starboy Charlie beat Cole Radrick. Turning to Japan, it took over a half hour to do it, but Jake Lee turned back the challenge of Takashi Sugiura to retain the Global Honored Crown World Heavyweight title in the main event of Pro Wrestling Noah's Green Journey 2023 show inside Nagoya's International Conference Hall. Lee finished the veteran off in 30 minutes and 28 seconds, pinning him after delivering the face break shot head kick. It was his third defense. Two other successful title defenses also took place on the card. GHC World Tag Team Champions Saxon Huxley and Timothy Thatcher made their first defense, defeating former champions Masa Kitamiya and Yoshiki Inamura when Huxley pinned Kiyomiya. And Hayata knocked off Dante Leon to make the second defense of his GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship. All Japan Pro Wrestling's Dynamite Series tour came to Otis City General Gymnasium on Saturday and featured Yuji Nagata defeating Yuma Anzai in 21 minutes and 6 seconds to retain the Triple Crown World Heavyweight Championship. The 55-year-old finished Anzai with his backdrop finisher to make the third defense of the title. All Japan World Tag Team Champions Kento Miyahara and Yuma Aoyagi defended their newly won title for the first time, putting down the challenge of Atsuki Aoyagi and Rising Hayato. Miyahara and Yuma Aoyagi won the championship on Friday from Keno and Manabu Soya. Shuji Ishikawa's 20th anniversary match series also continued with a loss yesterday as his team with Suwama fell to Big Japan Pro Wrestling's Daisuke Sakamoto and Yuji Okabayashi. Now with a look at action in the United Kingdom and Mexico, here's the Wrestling News' Lou Kipilman.
Rev Pro had its Cruel Intentions 2023 show on Saturday at the Gorton Craig Theatre in Stevenage, Hertfordshire. Undisputed British Junior Heavyweight Champion Robbie X retained for the 11th time by scoring a victory over United Empire cohort Gideon Gray. In other selective results, AEW and New Japan veteran Lance Archer defeated Connor Mills, Trent Seven defeated Michael Oku, and Jordan Breaks beat JJ Gale. Bandito's Big Lucha promotion ran on Saturday night in Iztapalapa, Mexico, and continued its tag team tournament to crown its first tag team champions, holding the B Block quarterfinals and semifinal. In the first quarterfinal matchup, Mr. Win and Viajero upset the team of SB Kento and Takuma Fujiwara. On Saturday, the Dragon Gate promotion officially released Kento and Miyahara, claiming the pair breached their contracts. SB Kento hasn't wrestled for Dragon Gate since July of 2022, while Fujiwara's last match with the Japanese company came in November 2022. The other quarterfinal saw Supernova and Tejano defeat Ellipse and Orbita. With the victory, Nova and Tejano, known as Sangre Tejana, will take on Delta Force, Cometa Maya, and Radioactivo during Big Lucha's next show, likely their anniversary celebration in July. The main event of last night was changed due to Bandito injuring his wrist during last Wednesday's AEW Rampage taping, when he caught Konosuke Takeshita on a moonsault. As a result, Bandito's Golden Guns partners Gravity and Potro teamed up with Ciclone Ramirez Jr. in a losing effort against Los Vipers, Abismo Negro Jr., Cibernetico, and Latigo. After losing the trio's match, Ramirez attacked Gravity. Also on the show, Forneo, Sol, and Torrio Negro top Skede, Black Skede, and Vortice when Forneo pins Skede clean. This likely sets up a career versus mask match between the two. For the wrestling news, I'm Lou Kipilman.
In ratings news, Fast National overnights are in for Friday night's WWE SmackDown. The show drew 2.278 million viewers to Fox. According to the TVRatingsGuide.com, that number's up slightly from last week's overnight figure of 2.23 million. The overnight rating for SmackDown in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was 0.60 for the second week in a row. Full ratings results for SmackDown are expected later this week. And finally, in collectibles news, a new championship belt celebrating the career of WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels has been unveiled. The Shawn Michaels Legacy Championship title belt features a heart-shaped front plate and 4 side plates with different images attached to a red and white striped leather strap modeled after Michaels' Heartbreak Kid gear. The title belt is available through WWE Shop and carries a price tag of $749. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.